I want to bring in former White House press secretary under George W. Bush and Fox News contributor Ari Fleischer is here. Ari, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Good morning.
The president tweeted that Dems will work with us. Do you think Dems will be there?
Well, it depends on what the policy is. And the policy, unfortunately, with this defeat in the Senate by Republicans is going to push everything leftward. But there are some inescapable facts, and that's the insurance companies have withdrawn from 1/3 of the markets where ObamaCare is offered, and insurance premiums are still skyrocketing because of the spiral. And that needs to be fixed. And so what's the solution? Do the Democrats have a solution? Can there become this small nugget of reform? It's going to be very unsatisfying for Republicans because basically it's just keeping Obamacare alive.
Right.
Ari, if they do the repeal, how does the art of the negotiations change relative to who's got the leverage?
Yeah.
So now you've repealed it. You've got a safety net out there that has an expiration to it. Who gets the leverage? Do the Dems get the leverage now to force this administration to do something as opposed to they just can't sit back and let nothing happen?
Well, first of all, there is no full repeal. What they're trying to do in the Senate now, as this collapses, is call it repeal. They can only repeal the financial aspects of Obamacare using 50 votes.
Yes.
Otherwise, all the rules of Obamacare remain in place. And that's why it's a partial repeal. The Senate still cannot get a full repeal without 60 votes.
Got it.
Now, my problem with that, and this is why I thought replace was so important, is the Democrats, and you have to give them credit, they changed what American people expect from insurance companies, where you can no longer be denied coverage if you had a pre-existing condition. If there was a repeal of that provision with no replacement, I submit to you the American people will be in an uproar about it, and properly so. That's why repeal and replace was so important, and it's your job to govern. If you have a majority, your ideas are supposed to lift people up, pass your ideas.
Well, the Democrats haven't been governing.
Well, they governed by passing Obamacare. They've governed by passing something terribly unpopular that didn't work.
7 months, they are not participating in any government.
But they're the minority party. They don't have the obligation to govern. We do. Republicans do.
It's not their problem.
That's
it's the problem of the Republicans, and they know that. That is the political calculation, that they can literally stand back and issue statements that come up with cute catchphrases and fold their arms and go, okay, you people fix it. And they're going to win in 2018 based on that. Here's what I don't understand. You repeal Obamacare now. If you can't come up with a replacement now, why are they going to be able to do anything different 3 months from now?
And the politics of that are dismal, because if you repeal it now, then every scare story that the Democrats want to make up about what Republicans are going to do to you will be credible. Because now you don't know what's next. If they at least had passed something now to replace it, Republicans have said the Democrats are engaged in scare tactics. Here's what we're doing. It's not real. And I submit to you, as that second bill had gotten passed into law, the replacement bill, people would have come to realize it's not as draconian as all the Democrats and the press are saying. It's not so bad, and Republicans would have been fine. So a repeal alone strategy now is heartbreaking.
Why can't they message this right? I mean, you were the press secretary for GW, and your job is to articulate messaging. Why can't the GOP get their message across to the American people without the color from the left?
Well, in part, there's an emotional debate about health care, and Republicans make rational arguments, and emotion trumps rationality. But the argument I didn't hear Republicans make often enough on this was Obamacare put a wet blanket on the economy. We've had 1% GDP growth for 8 years, and the reason is because of all the burdens regulations led by Obamacare. If you take that wet blanket off and we start to grow at 3%, everybody's better off. Easier health care access, more money in your pocket. This is what the country needs.
We talked about this ad nauseum.
We did.
On this program. Just alone, the rule that requires employers with 50 employees or more to provide health insurance, because, again, it created an incentive for companies to create part-time jobs.
But also, I mean, talking about the economic impact, let's say the repeal does go through, right? And you have nothing there to replace it with, and you don't see the consistency that health insurers need to plan now for 2018. Is it going to be worse of an impact on the economy, so the GOP go to the 2018 midterms and they have an even worse time than if they had not done the repeal bill? So what is the political calculation going on there, and what is the best next step for them? Repeal it, or?
I think flat-out repeal would be terrible for Republicans, because you get stuck with all the bad. You get stuck with the economic bad and the emotional bad, where people who are now scared about not getting health care.
So do they?
Replace is your job. No, I think what Mitch McConnell is doing is trying to lay down a hard bluff, saying to the senators, you know, we're going to force your hand. We're going to make you vote on this. And what he's trying to hope to do is somehow get a Humpty Dumpty to emerge from this and get past at some point later this year.
To that point, there are 49 sitting Republican senators who voted for the 2015 repeal. So the exact repeal that we're talking about, so he knows, okay, you voted for it in 2015, you're going to step up and do it.
And what was that? Was that a fake vote because President Obama was in office?
Yeah, they knew they never really had to.
That's what's wrong with the whole system. This is why people lose faith in the people we elect.
Do your job. All right, good to see you. Thanks so much. Ari Fleischer there.